The month that was, February 1964. What did 1964 mean to you? In this month we remember pride, connection, and the sound that changed everything. At London's Heathrow Airport, the night before February 22nd, hundreds of teenagers camped against the railings, holding cardboard signs and transistor radios. They waited for 4 young men returning from America. When the Beatles stepped off their flight, the crowd erupted, a wave of cheering, crying, and disbelief. Police formed a corridor as flashbulbs lit the terminal ceiling. For many, that homecoming felt like a moment when Britain had finally found its voice again. The newspapers called it the British invasion. Across the Atlantic, I Want to Hold Your Hand stayed #1 in America all month, while at home Needles and Pins by the Searchers filled every jukebox. The songs seemed to echo a country rediscovering optimism, 4 chords at a time. But February was not all noise and joy. On the 2nd in London, the body of Hannah Tailford was found in the Thames, the first victim in what would become a string of killings that haunted the city. A quiet fear spread through streets still learning to stay out late. The killer was dubbed Jack the Stripper. Beyond the capital, Britain looked forward. On February 6th, London and Paris announced the Channel Tunnel Agreement, an idea to link Dover and France by rail beneath the sea. It was to be finished in 5 years, they said. In truth, it would take 30. Still, for a few days, everyone believed they might soon cross to Europe by train instead of ferry. Not every journey ended in triumph. On February 29, a British Eagle airliner vanished into cloud above the Austrian Alps. 83 lives were lost when the plane descended too low through snow and silence. Rescue teams reached the wreckage at dawn, where the only movement was drifting smoke. Even in mourning, the country kept moving. On that same leap year day, a royal birth brought gentle headlines. James Ogilvy, born to Princess Alexandra, a reminder that life renews itself even in cold months. And in Southampton, a port rebuilt after war, city status was granted at last, a small but proud recognition. Culture carried its own glamour. Actor Peter Sellers married Britt Eklund on February 19th, cameras flashing as if Bond himself had shown up. It was another sign that British faces were everywhere, in music, on screens, in dreams. On the football pitches, Liverpool sat top of the First Division, Shankly's men chasing their first title in years. Across the ocean, a young boxer named Cassius Clay promised to shock the world in Miami, a mirror of the same fearless energy that the Beatles had carried home. It was the sound of a new generation finding its voice, louder, braver, and certain the world was changing.